Yo, minasan, and konnichiwa. My name is John, and today I'll be walking you through Adventures in Japanese, Chapter 8, Part 3, which is something you're already very familiar with, and I will explain in just a moment. But today, after today's lesson, you'll be able to count things appropriately. And while this may seem like a small thing initially, it's actually very, very important if you think about it just a little bit. So let's talk about that. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is John, and I am a Japanese teacher on the internet. So I am a YouTuber as well as a very famous podcast across the world called Manga Sensei, and I am bald like Saitama, so I didn't want to do a video to show you a picture of me here in the studio and looking like Saitama from One Punch Man here. And today I'll be teaching you this Japanese grammar. So with that, let's talk about counters. Okay, counters are really fun. We have them in English as well. If I say there are 5 sheets of paper or 3 stacks of wood or anything, or there are 10 people, the words sheets, piles, or people are all words that are counters. Each of these individual counters are usually put whatever we are counting. And we have the same thing in Japanese for large machines, birds, animals, people, etc., minutes and hours. So if you remember our lesson where we talked about time, where we said 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, that minute identifies a 60-second interval. Hung, pung, and bun, right? Or we have an hour. So we can say ji, shichiji, goji, and that jikan identifies an hour, that time period. So we're doing the same exact things, counting instead of, hours and minutes, we're counting things. So let's go over it. So we have first large machines. Things are like bikes, televisions, and etc. Computers, for example, would be another thing that we could count. And all that we're doing is taking the number 123, and then we're putting dai on the end of this. So we're simply saying 1 dai, 2 dai, 3 dai. Now for 4 and for 7, we use 4 and 7 and not shi and chichi, okay? So keep that in mind. So we have 1 dai, 2 dai, 3 dai, 5 dai, etc. Now, if we're asking how many there are, we simply use nandai. Now, this nan comes from the word nan desu ka, nan desu ka. So we have a nan there, which is how many or what. So we have how many dai, how many things that are large machines are there. Let's try birds. Now, of course, you probably know the word for bird is tori. Tori. However, when we talk about birds, we are going to use the counter for birds, which is wa. Wa. So I would simply take 1, 2, 3, 1 wa, 2 wa, 3 wa. Or I could take 9, 10, 11, 9 wa, 10 wa, 11 wa, 12 wa, so on and so forth. And then I would simply take nan, and again, put wa right at the end, and it would be nawa. All right? We can do this with small animals and long cylindrical objects, things like pencils or trees. And small animals would be most anything you'd have in the house as a pet hamster, rat, cat, or dog. Okay? Things that crawl around on all fours. Usually fairly small. Now, notice there are some of the things here written in red and 2 things written in blue. Now, these are the exceptions. What I recommend doing is pausing it right here, looking at it, making sure you kind of get used to this system right there. After that, write down the exceptions, and make sure you can count them correctly, okay? Because we have ippiki, nihiki, sambiki, piki, hiki, and biki. So we have to make sure when you're saying it that you have that small tsu sound, which is called a glottal stop, or a small pause in the word. So we have ippon, and we have ippiki, roppiki, roppon, happiki, happon, jupiki, jupon. So I will pause right here for 10 seconds, and I'll let you write this down. Go ahead and pause. All right, how'd you do? Let's go on from here. So right now we have a couple of little words. Tree, flower, pond, fish, and bird, as well as takusan and skoshi. Skoshi are things to put your... You're probably thinking, Sensei, nani so nani tango ga aru ndeshou ka? Sensei, why are there so many words? And the reason we have so many individual words here is because we want to make sure you have things to count, okay? So write these down as well, make a little picture, do whatever you have to do to get these down, because we're going to go into some sentences. You ready? Here we go. before we get to sentences, actually, let's look at the structure, okay? Because we have a very specific structure that we can use these counters with. We have the place, your house, the outside, a pond. Then we have the subject. This would be the thing that you're counting. A dog, a hat, a pencil, what have you. And then we use imasu, or we can use place, counter, no, subject ga imasu. Let's look at that here. If I say something like uchi ni, in the house, uchi will be the place, ni is the direction, inu ga, so that's our subject, ippiki imasu. So how many dogs are there? There are one dog in the house, right? How we do the same thing with a tree. So if I say I'd have the place, subject ga, counter, arimasu, place ni, counter no subject ga arimasu. Now what's the difference between what we just went over here? We have here's my sentence, and then we have imasu versus arimasu. Arimasu for non-sentient things, things that cannot think or make choices for themselves, and then imasu would be things that are sentient, things like cats, dogs, and ourselves, okay? So we use asoko ni oki ki ga ippon arimasu. Ippon, right? So we'll make sure we have that sentence structure down. Place ni counter no subject ga arimasu or imasu, and then we have place ni subject ga counter arimasu or imasu, right? So let's try here. Koko ni tori ga nan wa imasu. How many tori do we have here? Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we would say what? We would say koko ni tori ga 4wa imasu. 4はですね。4は there are 4 of them. Okay, so we have 4 tori here. Let's try another one. 公園に, so at the park, 木が何本ありますか? あります. How many are there at the 公園, the park? So we would say what? Take a second, think for yourself. ここに3本木があります。あります。ないます。あります。ここに3本木があります。Let's try it again. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How would you say there are 5 cats over there? Okay, take a second, think about it, and it would be what? あそこに5匹猫がいます。の匹猫があります。ね? Perfect, good job. Let's try it again. We have a motorcycle right here, or in this case, we're going to say a car, okay? Because I don't think we know the word for motorcycle quite yet. What would we say? We would say, 外に outside, 車が1台あります。ないます。あります。All right, with that, guys, I will sign off. Thank you so much for joining me today. Make sure you can actually do this correctly by going over your vocabulary on Quizlet. Make sure you take the quiz on Canvas, and now you can count things more than just saying 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now you can count things correctly. And thank you so much. Make sure to do this, and I will see you later. Until then, remember, after 10,000 mistakes, you become fluent. ですから一緒に間違えましょう. Let's make some mistakes. Let's practice our Japanese. Okay, until then, じゃあね. Bye bye.